What is up, guys? It is your boy Royal Mech, and I know it's been a good minute, especially in regards to the live streaming. There's been a lot going on. We had Springfest last weekend, so I was out of town. The Mrs. Mac wasn't feeling well, and things like that. So that was going on. Why there hasn't been live streams recently in the past couple weeks. But once this month has stopped getting busy, we'll be back on it. And we'll continue where we left off and reload it. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here for some Vanguard. And today, I actually have the deck list. Me and my good friend Joe took to Ontario, California for Springfest. Now, this was created by my friend Joe. Shout outs to him. He's actually one of the better Youthberk players I've seen, especially when it comes to this deck. He taught me it in about 2 hours to properly use it well and for better judgment. And yeah, this deck list is amazing. The only thing that really hurts it is just the RNG of triggers, like normal Vanguard does. But we're going to go into the deck list, and there's going to be some nice spices in here, but we'll just go over it that way, right? So, to start, we got the traditional ride line. So, we have the youth following in footsteps, just your typical starter. The one go in second, draw one. Then, we have determined to break away youth. He has the Vanguard and Rearguard skill. During the battle, this unit attacked. This unit gets plus 2,000, so it's always a guaranteed 10k swing. Wonderful. Helps get over that first trigger, which is really good. But then it has the when wrote upon effect by Knight of Ardent Light Youth, which is the grade 2 of the deck, of the right deck. You get to Soul Blast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Youthberk in its name from among them, and reveal it. Put it into your hand. Or choose up to 1 grade 2 or less unit card from among them, call it to rear, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, this card is just really good overall. It keeps your game going, both hand-wise as well as on board, to where you can keep spinning things and keep it moving. There are cards in here that, when played, have other effects. So his on-play ability is just really good to keep you turboing towards your end goal. Next, we have the grade 2, the Knight of Ardent Light Youth. He has the auto when this unit is wrote upon by the Revolt Dress ability. When this unit is wrote upon by a unit with the Revolt Dress ability, counterblast 1, choose a grade 2 or greater card from your drop and put it into your hand. Pretty much meaning if you were to discard any Youthbergs, if you were to when you ride into your grade 3, this can be used to pull any of the grade 2s you lost that are that have very good utility, or even pull a Revolt form from the trash that you discarded earlier for a ride target. Then it has the Vanguard and Rearguard skill. When this unit is boosted, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 5k until the battle. Really good. You really aren't going to use this ability whatsoever, because you kind of want to save your soul for other abilities in the deck. So this second ability rarely gets used. Majority of the time you will use the first, but that even still determines based on if your opponent damage denies you. And then last but not least, we have the Skyfall Arms Youthberk. Now, he is really good. He has the Revolve Dress ability. At the end of the battle, this unit attack. Choose up to 1 card with Revolve form in its name from your ride deck as stand, and it gets drive -2 until the end of turn. Then it has the ability Act Vanguard. Discard a card from your hand, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Revolt form in its card name from among them, and reveal it and put it into your hand. Or choose up to 1 card, grade 2 or less, from among them, call it to rearguard, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, once again, just like the grade 1, another good effect of searching for your pieces And if you can't find pieces, you're still plussing because you then get to play a grade 2 or less rear guard from among them onto board. You can't deny that. And we'll go into some of the newer cards that came out of BT13 and that work with this and just make things crazy. So let's go into the grade 3s, which are primarily just all our Revolve forms. So first up, the new one, Youthberk Revolve Form Full Blast. I love this card. Um, Even as a Gear Chronicle main, this card just feels like, no, if this was a Stride unit, yeah, this is the, we need you to discard a copy of your grade 3 before you're doing this. When the unit is placed by Vanguard by the Revolve Dress ability, counterblast 1 and perform all the following according to the card names in your soul. If you have all the following, all of your front row units get 15k until the end of turn. So, what does this require? It requires Revolve Form Zest, Revolve Form Gust, and Revolve Form Tempest, which means you need all 3 of the previous Revolve forms in your soul before you can do this. Now, we'll go into how this is possible, but the way this deck is in just general, you will speed this in. Now, what do you get for having each of these in there? For Zest, you gain additional crit. For Gust, your Vanguard gets +1 drive until end of turn. For Tempest, you get to then bottom deck one of your opponent's rear guards, which is wonderful. And then, like all Revolve dresses, at the end of the turn, choose one card with Revolve Dress ability from your soul and write it as suspended. AKA, you go back into the original Youthberk. And we play 4 of these, because this is your main target. Next, we'll just go ahead and get out the way. You do play the remaining 3 in the main deck, so you can Persona Ride. You always want to be able to Persona Ride with this deck, because a Persona Ride into a full blast is just crazy. Next up, we play 2 copies of Tempest. When this unit is placed on Vanguard by the Revolve Dress ability, all of your front row units get plus 5k until end of the turn. Then, Counterblast 1, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards with the same grade as any of the reveal cards and put it on the bottom of their deck. Put all reveal cards into your hand. That's really good. Helps you grow at least 1 card in advantage because of technically discarding 1 to write into. Then, at the end of your turn, choose a card with Revolve Dress ability from your soul, write it. So, I'm not going to read that any further. All Revolve forms have this. But for Tempest, Counterblast, build 2, bottom deck what you can. This is really good, but you only run at 2 because your main goal is to just get all your Revolve forms into Soul so that you can full blast. Now, there's 2 ways to do it. It is playing it, and then it goes into Soul at the end of the Revolve form turn, Revolve Dress. Or there's some cards that can actually speed them into Soul, which will help you speed faster. Next, we run 2 copies of Revolve Gust. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle by the Revolve Dress ability, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, discard a card from your hand. This unit gets plus 10k and a drive until the end of your turn. At the end of your turn, choose a card with Revolve Dress ability put into Soul. Same things. So, what's good about him is he can swing for an additional drive by himself. There is a support card that actually gives it another drive. So this could still technically swing twin drive with an additional 10k on it. But just like the previous one, you're not really trying to ride into these unless you have to. But some games you may. And one of the ones you may end up having to ride to is the Gust over Tempest. Because in this game, especially for this deck, there will be a lot of people who want to damage deny you. Next up, from the starter deck, we play Youthberk Revolve Form Zest. Zest has, when this unit is placed by the Revolve Dress ability until the end of your turn, this unit gets 15k. And if you Persona Ride this turn, it gets an additional crit. That's not bad, but as you see, no counterblast requirement for any of his skills, no restriction on when this can be used. So that is why we actually run this in here at a 1 of, but you still need it for the line. But this is one of the cards you want to grab and keep in hand, because in turns where your opponent starves you, where you can't counterblast, this is your best target. And then, like usual, it after the end of the turn, you just revert back. Now into grade 2s. It's actually a pretty small grade 2 lineup because of how heavy your 3s are, but all of them do something amazing and they just boost the deck up really well. First up, we play 4 copies of the Witch of Extinguishment Vergosa. This is one of the cards that helps this deck actually be playable and be on tempo with everyone else, actually a little faster. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with Youth in its card name, so your grade 0, 1, 2, and 3, Soul Blast 1. Search your deck or drop for up to 1 card with Revolve form in its card name. Put it into your soul, and if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. If your soul has 3 or more cards with Revolve form in their different card names, Soul Blast 1 card without Revolve form in its card name and draw a card. That alone is why this deck works. This is one of those cards you do play to finish if you didn't get everything. And you'll know when you play it, you'll know when to use it. You don't want to over rush these out though, because you have a limited soul at the time, but depending on when you trigger it can actually make or break you. I will definitely say I have won a lot of games by just double dropping Vergosa, and it finished my line. And a lot of times I was getting the Vergosa off of the Youthberk activated skill. But then it has the ability, when your Vanguard is placed by the Revolve Just ability, this unit gets 5k until end of turn. So, this is 15k on swing on your turn when you just Revolve Dress. But then you add in context with Full Burst, and now it's 30k swing on your opponent's turn. This is another reason why this deck is good. It's because it's just strong. Next, these guys just hit for good numbers early. Alright, and remember, Full Blast had these requirements. First one to show that helps is the Vergosa. Next up, we're going to our grade 2s. We're still in grade 2. We play 2 Drilling Angel. Drilling Angel is another amazing card for this deck. It has the ability, when this is placed on rear, put a unit card from your drop into your soul. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with the same name as the card put in the soul for this cost from among them. Call it to rear guard circle and shuffle your deck. Now, you notice it does not have a restriction on what you can put in the soul. This is another card you can actually use to help soul charge the necessary pieces to get in the Full Blast. But you also have another target, as in the Vergosa, or there's actually a grade 1 we use as a target for this as well. But this card is very versatile in this deck. It can put a youth piece back that's in drop that you don't have in soul, especially if you don't have Vergosas. So this can also fix your situation. But then it can also help spread your board around, make your board bigger if RNG is with you. Alright, into the grade 1s. These are a lot of your most important pieces of the deck. So, first up is Bard of Brave Instrument Corrine. She is probably the lifeblood of this deck. We do play her at 4. So, and the Drilling Angel we play at 2, as you see right here. We only play it at 2. So we play 4 Corrine. She has the ability, if this card is placed on rear guard from your deck, during your turn, or discard it from your hand during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Youth in its card name, search your deck or draw for up to one card with revolve form in its card name. Reveal it, put into your hand. And if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. Then, if and then it says, if you put a card into hand, choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Now, she is amazing because her utility is just vast. If she is discarded, this includes during because during the ride phase, because you're going to discard to ride from ride deck. Doing this puts you at one in soul, guaranteed. You can superior call if you end up superior caller. That's another guaranteed in soul, but now she's a body, and you don't have to put a revolve form in soul if you grab one, but it depends on what's already there. And she just can put anything in the soul, so anything you like really don't need at the time can go in there as well. But you just have that versatility, and it keeps your soul going, as well as it's one of your second target to getting all of those revolve forms in soul for full blast. Next, we play 2 copies of the Yellow Jewel Beast, Topaz. This card is nuts, and with this deck, I understand why this card is up to almost $80. When this unit is placed on rear or put on Guardian Circle, put a total of 2 cards from your soul or drop that were in the ride deck into ride deck face up, and perform either of the following according to the circle this unit is on. Rear guard, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with grade less than or equal to your vanguard from among them, call it to rear guard, and shuffle the deck. If it is not your main phase, suspend that call unit. You're not going to suspend, but you will be calling with this card. This is a really good card late game when your board needs a little bit of help, especially after you soul blasted your ride deck pieces. This just works wonders. Then it has the Guardian Zone ability. This unit gets 15k shield until the end of battle. So it does really good on the main board because it dodges you out. And the defensive, it's a 20k guard. You can't do better than that. Definitely keep this at a 2. Next up, we play 4 copies of the Witch of Accumulation, Sequana. She is the 3rd piece of the Trinity that greatly support the Youthberk engine of the deck. This Youthberk deck wholeheartedly. She has the ability during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Youthberk in its card name, this unit gets 2k. That means a 10k block, 10k booster. Your Vanguard will always swing for 23 with her behind him. Great. That already makes a lot guards one. That makes that one to pass a lot more detrimental. Then it has the ability, when your unit is placed on Vanguard by the Revolve Dress ability, put this into your soul, choose one of your Vanguards, and increase or decrease its drive to 1 until end of turn. Why this is important? Because the Revolve Dress removes all drive checks. And so when you Revolve Dress, your drive check is reduced by 2. Thus meaning your Revolve forms don't have twin drive anymore. But with her, you at least get 1 drive. Now, in combo with the 2, such as Gust or Full Blast, in combo with he goes back to 2. That is how that works, and how you get that power, that hand power back. Then, last but not least, we play 3 PGs. Then you play 1 copy of Sanctitude. Now, how Decklog works, it goes to the very bottom of the list, so that's why I just scroll down. Then we play 1 copy of Additional Agent. This card, you only run it at 1 due to it's not really main deck important. It's more of that special tech to handle dealing with getting damage denied. So, It has the activated ability Soul Blast 1 and put this unit into your damage zone. Choose a grade 3 card from your damage zone, call it your rear. That second ability doesn't get used a lot, but when it does, that's an additional card on board. We cannot complain about having additional cards on board, and it's a trade. So we lose a grade 1 to get a grade 3. Who can complain, especially with youth? Because all your 3s are your revolve forms. So you would just put one of those on board. That's 13 plus full blast boost. So 28, that's some pressure. Then, last for our grade 1s, we play one copy of Knight of Heavenly Roar Reedy. It has the ability Soul Blast 2, and until the end of turn, the increase of trigger effects revealed for your drive check gets 5k. Meaning, all your 10k triggers become 15k boosts. And it is not restricted. So you can do this for as many times as you have duplicates of 2 in your soul, with as long as you don't get rid of your full blast setup, and you can make those things possibly do 20 to 25, all depending on what's in soul. It gets nuts. I rarely had to use it, but that definitely gets nuts. Now, in regards to the over trigger, we do play the blue one. It has the ability, additional effect, choose a card from your drop, put into your hand, choose one of your units, it gets crit plus 1 until end of turn. So, why is this good? Well, it's technically an extended crit trigger that recurs a card to your hand, and it makes one attack unblockable, and so recur, power, crit. That's really all you want to know. Spiritual King of Aquatics, Idolsair, good card. You definitely want to use this, or you can just stick with the traditional Key to Sanctuary over trigger, but this one actually gives more value. Then we play 2 regular heals. Then we play 2 effect heals. We play Heartless Tier Sorceress. She has the ability, when they shoot is put on Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit crit is 2 or greater, and the crit is increased by non-trigger effect ability, or its original crit is 2 or greater, this unit gets 15k guard until end of turn. 25 shield, we use this as a 2 of. Excuse me. Reason why, because in the mirror match, if they have a perfect youth, this is how you help guard the full blast. Because if their full blast got that guaranteed crit, this pretty much will always be a 25 guard, which makes it less cards in hand than guard to survive that youth. You do not want to get hit with a youth full blast if you want to win. Then we play 4 copies of the effect crit, and 3 copies of the front trigger. Effect front. And that is the deck, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you really enjoyed the deck list, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Shout out to, once again, my good friend Joe. You are an awesome teacher. Dude, I think you've solved and cracked the list hands down. If you guys try the list out and you enjoy it and it feels good, please leave a comment down below shouting out my friend Joe. Let him know that you guys appreciate the build and how much you're enjoying the list. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Peace.